Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Championing Our Wellness podcast. My name is Donovan Kitchen. I'm here with Tommy Crum, and our lovely guest today is Miss Miranda Fisher, and her guest is Sage.
Sage, why don't you get up?
Right? Introduce yourself.
Sage, hey.
She just woke up, and she's tired.
There, that's a good girl.
There you go.
Hey.
All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here on campus?
Sure. I'm Miranda Fisher. I'm assistant director of sports medicine. I work primarily with football and women's basketball and track and field. So I've been at SHIP since 2011, and I've worked with different teams across campus. So I started in the field house, and then I transitioned to 10 years at Henderson with the soccers, field hockey, lacrosse, and now I'm in Higas as my primary location, but I assist Becky with football. So.
All right, nice. And then tell us a little bit about your guest here as well.
So this is Sage. She is a 3.5-year-old St. Bernard. She is my personal family pet, but she is a certified therapy dog through Alliance of Therapy Dogs, and she loves to visit people and make their days brighter and better. We do a bunch of different places that we visit. We've done hospice visits in nursing homes. We visit elementary schools and reading programs at the library, where the kids will read to her. And we come to campus a good bit. So she comes in to visit teams and high stress times. We do dogs on the quad with the wellness center.
Yep.
And we're part of Kindly Canines, which is a therapy dog group in the area that goes and does different things. So they come to campus to the Raider Wellness Resource Center once a month. And she sometimes gets to visit, depending on my schedule.
That's awesome. And then, so like you say, like, do you work, I know you work with the athletes mostly, and then I kind of stalked your Instagram a little bit. I saw that you take her out to, like, all the different sports teams and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess what I was wondering is, like, how have you seen that benefit, like, the student athletes, like, the second that they see her and all that?
Oh, yeah. They love her. I mean, she's well known across campus. She's known in town as the dog with the pearls, so she has different pearls. She has ship pearls. She has regular pearls. But most dogs, unless people are afraid of dogs, they should find joy whenever they see her. Some teams, like our former field hockey coach, she would request on, like, conditioning test days to have Sage come and visit before to just try to not really distract, but
like
provide a little bit of comfort going into, like, a really stressful time. So I've done it also with injuries. Like, I work with injured athletes that may require season-ending or career-ending injuries. So I try to bring her in when I can to visit during rehab sessions and stuff like that. So it's mainly to boost morale, decrease stress. Pets are known to decrease stress in general. So the other thing I find, too, is college students are usually away from their family pets. So whenever Sage comes around, it kind of gives a little bit like, oh, here's a dog.
A feeling of back home a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Obviously, you don't have to go into specifics here, but I was just wondering if there was, like, ever, like, a specific, like, moment or event where you found that your work with Sage has really impacted a student, or maybe, like, something that you saw that it, like, impacted you when you saw it.
So we've had students that have had significant traumas or losses, that have had lost a family member or something like that, and she tends to gravitate naturally. I don't know if it's her innate ability, but it's not something that's taught, obviously. But she'll gravitate towards students that may have had that, and, like, we'll be in a group, we'll approach a team or a small group, and she'll find her way to the person that almost needs it the most.
Yeah.
So that's usually, like, a rewarding experience for me. Specific in the library, like with the children reading, like sometimes kids get nervous to read or their skills aren't, high. So they read to the dogs, so the dogs aren't judging them.
Yeah.
So I find that really rewarding because I'll have children sit and they'll prop their book up on her back and they'll pet her while they're reading, and it's almost just like a relaxing thing for the child.
Yeah.
So those are like the core moments that I think specifically like make me feel pretty good. The nursing homes are also because people are usually in the nursing homes or may have dementia or Alzheimer's, and they see a dog and it's like it either takes them to a place. I have a lot of people that'll talk about like their childhood dogs or their dogs growing up, and that's kind of like a rewarding experience too because sometimes they don't have that joy, but they love her. Yeah, they love her, and she's a perfect height. So in a nursing home, like in a wheelchair, she walks right up to them. So those are the ones that stick out the most.
That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of going along with that, like when you walk around campus, everyone sees a big dog, right? Everyone's excited. What are kind of your favorite moments from just walking around campus with Sage?
Well, one, people know Sage and don't know me, so that's also very unique. I find it humorous. Like I laugh because they're like, "Oh, it's Sage." It's specifically more so to the general students. Like when we're in the Raider Wellness Center, like they want to see Sage and they don't know who I am.
The social media effect.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. They're like, "I follow you on social media," or "I follow Sage on social media."
I follow Sage.
Do it.
Yeah. So. That is kind of the unique. I'll have student athletes, like if we're driving through town, she sticks her head out the window. Like people will take pictures of the car with her head out and like, we see Sage. And, so I jokingly say that she's like well-known, more popular on campus than
campus
I am.
Celebrity, right?
Yeah. And I think it's because she's so big, because there are lots of dogs that come.
Oh, yeah.
Either with dogs on the quad or with the kindly canines, but she's a unique because she's 130 pounds and is a very large dog.
Easily recognized.
She's easily recognized. So I think that's what also gives people, she's a memorable dog.
Definitely. And then kind of turning this onto the flip side, I guess, I know you mentioned like some of the kinds of stuff that Sage helps people with, like people dealing with loss and stuff like on campus. What were some of like the other things that, people tend to struggle with that a therapy dog could potentially help with?
So anxiety and depression are also two things that we find beneficial with pets in general, pet therapy. So, they're calming. So usually like she'll sit, like, I mean, this is her normal routine where she'll like lay down after a while. And she'll just sit with someone and they can pet her and they can talk to her. And it's like I'm not there. So the anxiety, depression, loss, grief usually are like the main things. But even if someone's just having a stressful day, like 5 minutes sitting and petting the dog or, giving her belly rubs. She loves belly rubs. That's her, she'll roll right over for belly rubs. Those are the moments that just like, it's like a pause or a breakup in like the regular day to day. And it's for a few minutes. It doesn't even have to be long.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And so obviously we just talked about the challenges that student athletes face struggling with sports, whatnot. What are some of the biggest opportunities that you see with that, whether it be like resources they have or friends that they make or something like that?
So obviously we're very blessed to have a counseling center on campus that is free and confidential for all students. So I do the mental health screens at the beginning of the year for all of our student athletes. And during those meetings, they're one-on-one and it's a screen. So it gives you like a report and we chat about it and then you move on. But I always share that no matter, like, mental health can change just like physical health can, right? So no matter if you're fine today, 3 weeks from now, you may be struggling with something, that there are resources on campus that are here to help. The Raider Wellness Resource Center is a great resource center in the Cub as well, because there's different activities, there's different things. They have the therapy dogs once a month. There's different things that are to promote some mental wellness.
Yeah.
There's also, for athletes specific, there's THO, which is the hidden opponent. It's a student athlete group that is focused on promoting mental health in athletes, awareness and education. Mm-hmm. So they meet monthly as well, and it's an open meeting that students can come. They get guest speakers, different things like that. So there are quite a few orgs on campus or areas on campus that promote some mental wellness. But for coaches, I always offer up, like at the beginning of the year, like, hey, I have Sage. She's certified therapy dog. We're a team. If you have a team meeting and you want Sage to come, if you notice it's high stress right before playoffs or right before, midterms when academics are stressful, and, I'm happy to bring her by. Mm-hmm. So some coaches have taken me up on that. Yeah. It's harder when when I'm working, it's hard to have her because I have to be able to take care of people in an emergency. So I can't have her with me all the time. But on those moments, I am hopeful that she does bring some form of, joy or, at least a moment of happiness in those moments that can kind of cut the stress a little bit. Yeah.
She looks like we should get into that.
There's the track team.
Use that.
Yeah, she can come visit when practices start.
Heck yeah. I think I speak for the whole team that we definitely all enjoy that. Things tend to get a little stressful, as you know. Once we get down to the nitty gritty and all that.
Yeah. But, whole lot going on, and especially late in the season. Yeah. Final exams, whatnot.
Oh,
so, yeah. But earlier, Donovan said that he was stalking your Instagram a little bit, seeing that you guys go to events. What kind of events do you guys like to participate in? And
so Sage loves college students and children. She's a little more cautious with elderly, and I think it's mainly because of the equipment, so wheelchairs, walkers, canes, those types of things. They also don't always move in a smooth way. Like, she's very comfortable with children and college students. So she loves going to the library where the kids read to her. She goes to the Boys and Girls Club in the summer, and the kids read to her. And it's funny, this summer we went, and the Boys and Girls Club was housed at the elementary school at the end of my street, and so we will just walk there. Well, they were having like a lemonade stand, like teaching some entrepreneurship stuff, and I was coming to work, but I didn't have her with me, so I stopped to get some lemonade to support them, and I get out of the car, and they're all like, "It's Sage's mom!" And I'm like laughing because it's like she's had an impact on these 40 kids that, again, I don't need to know, they don't need to know who I am, but the fact that they associate me with Sage is hilarious. So I'm Sage's mom a lot of the places that we go. I have a therapy shirt that's like, I'm just here to hold the leash. Like, that's my motto. She's here to work, I'm here to hold the leash.
That's a good one.
So that's like one of the funnier parts, like when I see the children out, like they remember her and they associate her with me. So Coach K's son, Jameson, is in the Boys and Girls Club, and he's like, every time he sees me, where's Sage? Like, can we see Sage? So she's pretty famous, but my neighbor lady walks her during the day because my hours are pretty long most days during the fall and the spring. So my neighbor walks her, and she must see children like along the way. And Sage has like a whole entourage of friends through the neighborhood that she collects, and they walk with Miss Lori. And I was at the library reading program last fall, or in the spring, and I had a kid sit down. He's like, "It's the dog with the pearls." And I'm like, I've never seen this child before in my life. And so I'm like talking to, and I finally say, like, "Where did you see Sage at?" And he's like, "It's the dog with the pearls. She walks with the lady." So then I asked the dad, I'm like, "Do you live in this neighborhood?" And he's like, "Yeah, he must see her with my neighbor." So, like, she has a whole secret life of pets moment that I don't even know half of who she meets.
She's
because
like Batman.
Like, she's known throughout town, and I don't even know who she meets on a daily basis. So.
And then if you have anything going on campus here anytime recently, feel free to I guess let the podcast know, because we're trying to promote stuff like that.
Yeah, so we have Dogs on the Quad, which is an outdoor initiative. Faculty members bring their pets or their dogs for a couple of hours. If you are on the wellness Instagram, it tells you the dates for the fall. There was just one yesterday. We didn't make it because I had an appointment, but those are opportunities where we're out in the quad, out in front of the library and like Dolphin, where we just hang for a couple of hours and people can stop and see the dogs in between. It's hard for some of the dogs, so she's trained not to, because in our therapy work, she's not allowed to interact with other dogs. Like, we have to stay 2 feet away. Like, that's a rule. So she knows, like, when she has her blue vest with her heart and her tags on, she's working. Like, she knows that. And we only use this harness when she's working. So she knows when this is on, like, she's on her best behavior. She's, not allowed to interact with other dogs. Well, the other dogs all want to play with her. So we have to usually stay pretty far away because they don't quite understand because they're not necessarily trained therapy dogs. But and then this past week was the Kindly Canines went to the Wellness Center. So that's typically on, I believe, on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. But again, their dates are listed on the Instagram for the Wellness page. And we usually try to make it. There are different times. Having football for me is hard in the fall to get the stuff because I can't do anything usually after 2:00. But we definitely try to get to as many of those opportunities where they have the dogs on campus.
Gotcha.
So.
And I thought of this question earlier and I completely blanked on it, but it just came back to me. Have you seen that, having Sage out, in public, it encourages students to, interact with each other? And have you seen, new relationships come from your work?
Yes. The short answer is yes. So people will stop and engage with Sage when we're out, and it brings people together. So obviously then people may, not necessarily become lifelong friends from that one interaction, but if they see each other on campus, I'm hopeful that they, would say hi and stuff. I think the other thing too is social interactions are challenging for folks. I think sometimes people just aren't comfortable with social interactions with others, that people they may not know. And you put a dog in the mix and they're like, oh, it cuts the awkwardness of social interaction. Yeah. So, and people always ask me, the most common questions I get asked, they're like, how much does she weigh? How old is she? What breed is she? And so I sometimes feel like a broken record because I repeat those answers everything. But
maybe that needs to be your new therapy shirt.
Yeah,
she is 3.
She is 3. Yeah. She's 130 pounds. She's a Saint Bernard.
Right.
I get a lot of, hey, it's Beethoven, when people see it. And I'm like, yep, that's the correct dog. So.
Sure is.
So I had a question. Sure. Just out of curiosity. It probably varies for each dog, but how long does it usually take to become a fully trained therapy dog?
So there's 2 different avenues. So AKC has a certified therapy dog certificate. We did not go that route. We went through the Alliance of Therapy Dogs. It's a national organization that trains, and basically I knew I had a Saint Bernard before Sage named Rocky, and he was not a certified therapy dog, but he was a very intuitive dog as well. I think it's the breed characteristics. That's why I love Saint Bernards and I have them. But it's one regret that I have is that I didn't certify him because he was a great therapy dog as well, just not certified. So when I got her, I knew I wanted to do that because I knew the benefits of having her certified and having her in different spaces will bring joy to people and things like that. So we started with basic obedience. So she had puppy kindergarten for 6 weeks, and then we did an advanced obedience class. Those aren't required for the Alliance. People can make their family pet into, as long as they're not, they can't be reactive to, equipment. Like you have to go through testing. So the Alliance testing requires like a demeanor test where you meet with a person that's able to do a test with you. And they evaluate your dog and how your dog works with you, and you have different tasks that you have to do. And then after that, you pass that, then you have to go on 3 visits. So 2 of them have to be to a medical facility because they want to ensure when they're testing that your dog is comfortable or safe in a medical environment. So we did nursing homes for my visits. And she's fine, but it was like the first one, she's like, what is that cane? What is that
suspicious,
walker?
Yeah.
She definitely, I know one of the things you had mentioned about, like, does she ever seem stressed when she's working? I'll get back to that one. But so you pass those 3 visits, you get graded, like there's different things that have requirements that have to happen or things that they can definitely not do. They don't have to be perfectly obedient. Like, I mean, they're a dog, so they understand, like, they may get excited, they may, but they can't jump up on people. They can't, do different things. So once you go through that, then you submit your application and you get approved. So at that point, they send you your heart. So when she has her heart on, she's working, and it's just a tag saying that she's a therapy dog.
Yeah.
And then you are able, the only requirement is you have to maintain visits throughout the year. So you don't have to do like 100 visits. Like it can be as much as you want, but each time you do a visit, you have to log, where you went, how long you spent, those kinds of things. And those are required. And then there's an annual like renewal fee. So she's been certified since, in July was a year. So she's only been doing this a year and a half. Okay. But we did a lot of socialization before she was actually certified. Yeah. So like we went to Lowe's a lot, worked on like, understanding when you're around people, you can't be like excited and you're going to knock someone over because you're 130 pounds compared to like the little dogs that are, smaller. But she did really well. She picked it up naturally. Like she loves the work. Like I joke that like if I got paid to like just interact with people and them pet, all she does is show up get belly rubs and she's having a good day. Right. But she's a special dog. She's very good at her job, and it brings me a lot of joy to see her in her element. But that's awesome. Dogs do get stressed, so not every environment that she goes to is one where she's like calm like this. Nursing homes, she's usually a little bit more. She won't like lay down. She'll like sit or she'll stand, which to me is a signal that she's not overly comfortable. Okay. But she'll pant some too. Those are like all signs that they're kind of stressed. Our visits are never more than an hour. Mm-hmm. So and then she'll go home and sleep for like 8 hours because it's work for her,
Mm-hmm. What a life.
I know.
What a life.
So usually if the visit is a little bit stressful or I notice that she's not comfortable, I'll cut it short. We'll be like, all right, it's time for us to go. And then we kind of just move out. But for the most part, like the kids and the college students, she would sit here all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of takes us into we do like a chat GPT segment here on the podcast where we just kind of ask it a question, see what it says, and then compare it to what you say. And so the question that we asked it was, how does work as a therapy dog affect the dog themselves? Mm-hmm. You kind of went into that a little bit, where you said she got kind of be like a little bit like wary on edge a little bit. Mm-hmm. What ChatGPT said was that there's a study called "Do Therapy Dogs Actually Like Their Jobs?" which measured salivary cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Mm-hmm. And it says for a sample of about 26 dogs, their cortisol levels didn't really increase at all compared to their home baseline. So it doesn't really suggest that dogs can kind of be stressed out by their work, I guess. And then I had a follow-up question for you based on that. Sure. You kind of answered it already, but it was, have you seen Sage act different or more stressed while she's working? And then do you think working as a therapy dog can be fulfilling for the dog themselves or, just for the people?
So, well, do you have something to say,
Right.
Sage? Yeah.
Get the mic on her. Get the mic.
Yeah. So I think some stress, we all know that not all stress is bad stress, right?
Yeah.
So even though she appears sometimes to be panting or, not as relaxed, I would say, I don't necessarily usually view it as negative stress for her. She loves people. So, like, yes, it's fulfilling for me, but it also, like, for me, it gives her purpose. Not that she doesn't have purpose without it, but, like, my schedule's busy. So if I can take that time to get her out and engaging with other people, people that she can bring, like, she brings me joy every day, stresses me a little bit because she can't speak like a human because when she's sick or stuff like that. But she lives a very cushy lifestyle, I would say. But I just think that it brings her joy because she's able, like, when you watch her, like, she'll be roll over and do want her belly rubbed right away, or she'll, and it's like, I took her to lacrosse a couple weeks ago before their conditioning test, and she knows some of the ladies because we've gone to the lacrosse team a bunch of times. And, like, her tail's wagging, and she's, like, trying to run towards them. And I'm like, we have to be calm, And they come over, and she just rolls right over and has her belly exposed, which are all signs that she's comfortable and calm. So, yes, I would say it's not necessarily a negative stress for her, but she definitely, she loves it, but it does tire her out because it is mentally stimulating for them. Yeah. But if I'm at work for 8 hours a day, if I spend an hour with her doing a therapy visit, that gives her, mental stimulation and stuff like that. Keeps her from being naughty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tearing up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy, do you want to go into the next chat GPT question?
Which one?
Yeah, the one right there.
I didn't go over this one. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I just want to give you an opportunity to talk. But same thing, though, another chat GPT one that we had in there. We asked it, how do therapy dogs help students? So it gave us 3 main responses, and those were it reduces stress and anxiety, it encourages interaction between students, and it boosts focus and motivation. And basically, it just, in your experience, have those held to be true? I know we talked about pretty much all of those, so that's a good sign at least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in a doctoral program right now, so, like, having her in my house while I'm trying to do my homework after working all day is, like, very calming, and, like, it's like she just sits next to me and I'm like, all right, I got to get this done so I can pay attention to her kind of thing. But, yeah, I mean, stress, anxiety, those are all things that I feel like in 2025 are dealing with a lot of.
Yeah, definitely.
The advancements in technology that keep us connected at so many different points and levels, like our watches, our phones, our computers, all of the things. It's like we're trying to find shortcuts, but the reality is like sometimes just slowing down and stopping and petting a dog, for example, is enough to give you kind of like a reset or a reprieve, because our bodies and brains aren't meant to be high-functioning
all the time
computers. Yeah. Like, we're not supposed to be, there's supposed to be moments of downtime and supposed to be moments of relaxation. And I think as a society, we don't have that as much as we probably should. And if you look at the stats on depression and anxiety, like, it's through the roof. So finding ways to cope with that. And, I mean, what better way to have a companion, 130-pound companion.
Exactly. All right, I think that's just about all we have. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
It was a very nice conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Sage. Hey. You want to say bye? You want to say bye?